Good afternoon, Internet world. It's Motivational Monday. And I've managed to get the right day this week. I am absolutely cooking with gas, aren't I? Anyway, what I want today's theme to be is one of looking for the good in a situation. I think currently we are living in pretty worrying times, I suppose, in a way. I am not a political pundit or anything like that, but the conflict in Russia and the Ukraine is causing people a lot of concern, to be fair. And not that I'm going to start, going on about what the wheres and wherefores, but what I mean is that, there's a big situation in the world. We're also still reeling from COVID as well. And, people are feeling a little bit grim. People were actually getting scared and getting frightened about what was going on. And, how far was it going to go and was it going to affect them and that kind of thing. And I think what I wanted to use that as an example for was one of trying in a grim situation like that. There is always good going on somewhere, even if it's in the background. And one of the things that I picked up on that helps me, because I've not been watching the news, I've just been letting Seamus giving me like sort of updated snippets on what's been going on, because it's just such a bonkers situation to me that I just couldn't get my head around it. So, but one of the things I picked up on that made me, gave me faith that there was good in the world is that straight away, even in my little small area, people were rallying round, people were wanting to get sort of aid packages, even if it was just sending blankets and that kind of thing over for, any sort of refugees that were coming in from the Ukraine. And it was like Poland had set up a particular gate that people could go through if they were coming over to get through with their pets, because they realised, that the importance of people bringing their pets over with them. So that's what, it's that concentrating on the good in what could be a terrible situation. And it's like for myself, closer to home, I recently, some of you may or may not know, I recently had some unexpected but joyous news. I really, really did. But at the time, unfortunately, my head went straight to the negative. It went straight to all the negative points of it, which, looking back, is ridiculous, because it's a beautiful thing that's happened. But I allowed myself to dwell on the negatives rather than concentrating on what the plus points were, concentrating on the joy and the goodness in the situation. And that's what I've done now, and thankfully I'm lifting myself out of it, because I got into a complete spiral. My head went completely west. It was awful. And so, but this is what I want you to try and do, is sometimes, obviously, like I always say with these things, there are always going to be situations that there just isn't any good to be found, no matter what. That there just are outright nasty people, there are outright nasty situations, and those just have to be sort of dealt with, and that is tough for whoever's going through that. But I think it was as well, going back to sort of disasters and that kind of thing, it was during the Manchester bombing, and it was somebody had come on the telly and they were going on about, how do you explain something this awful to a child? How do you get them to deal with it, to make sure, because children were getting scared, thinking, there's these bad people in the world, the world's full of bad people. The world isn't full of bad people. The world, and this is what they said, is to concentrate, to look at the situation, to look at the newsreels, and to concentrate on the good people, to the people that are helping, the people that are running into a situation to get the people out. The good people, the good things, the positive things. So bringing it back to a day-to-day thing, I think that's what I want you to do today, is instead of getting overawed with all the bad stuff, because there will always be bad stuff, there will always be grim things going on, there will always be, the nasty people, the nasty situations, the awful stuff. But instead of getting overawed and drowning in all this, look for the positives. look for the goodness, because it will be there. Even if it's the tiniest little speck, at least it's there. It's there somewhere. You can find it. And if you concentrate on those, if you concentrate on the positivity, it's like, you know, people always say, don't they, positivity breeds positivity. And of course it does. Because if you can concentrate on those little positive bits, if you can look at the good stuff that's being done, the way that, you know, people are coming together and helping each other, instead of, you know, there are always going to be the other people that are all fighting against each other. But look at the people that are coming together and helping. Look at the everyday Joe Blogs on the street, you know, who's like putting his hand in his pocket and putting £1 in that box, you know, to help some war effort. Or the person, you know, the lady who's collecting tins or something like that for the local refuge or something. You know, look for the good in everyday life, because it is there and it does help you get through. That's, like I said, that's how I now deal with situations like this. All right, I am not in any way, shape or form sort of, you know, running about chucking flowers everywhere going everything's absolutely peachy. Of course, you know, real life is gritty. It is gritty, and sometimes it can be a bit grim. But don't let that swallow you up. Don't let that get into your system and make you a grim person, because it doesn't help. It really, really doesn't. And it's, yeah, like I said, I've always said, there are going to be situations, there are going to be, that, you know, I've got some beautiful, beautiful friends that are going through some kind of rubbish. It's unbelievable. And you think, why on earth? But even they can keep smiling. Even they can every now and again find something beautiful to look at. Do something like that. Find something good. Find something positive to do, to look at, to watch. Even if it's like watch a comedy or something like that. Do that. And it's not that you're denying the situation. It's not that you're sort of making a joke out of something. You're not. You're surviving. You're getting through. You're keeping going. And the best thing to do is try and be as positive as you possibly can. But like I said, that's one of the things that I want you to do today. That's the theme of it, because it could be, you know, it could all get a little bit grim if you let it, but we're not going to. It's a bit of a grim day here in Chorley Town. We've got a bit of rain. It's Monday, which is never the best day of the week for a lot of people, is it? They're like, oh, Monday. But there, we're over halfway through Monday. We're rocking it. We are absolutely rocking it today. And we're doing it together. And do you know what? You're doing fantastic, a lot of you. You really, really are. So that's what I want you to do. Is if you feel like a situation is swamping you, if you feel like it's just taking over you and all getting a bit, try and find a bit of positivity, a little sprig of rainbow somewhere there, because it will be there and you will find it. So that's all for today. So thankfully, like I said, I managed to get the right day. Yay! Winning at life. I will be back similar time, same day, similar time next week, with some other load of old tripe probably. But hopefully you'll enjoy it and it'll give you something to do for 10 minutes. So there you go. So that's all I have to say. So like I said, you keep that pecker up and look for the positives today. Okay, then, my beautiful ones. Carry on being great, good and gorgeous like you always are. And I will see you next week. Peace out, Muddy Funkers.